Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the second lecture of biochemistry series. We are decoding biochemistry and we are trying to understand biomolecules. So in the last lecture we saw about tissue analysis, and now in the second lecture we will be studying about ash analysis. So tissue analysis was very simple. Okay, if you have not watched it, no problem. You can watch ash analysis first and then you can go back to tissue analysis. It is very simple. I tried to explain it in the most lame language so that even any student, okay, even in foundation courses and all, can understand it, because these are the concepts which will build up, okay, to become like to become the base of something more complex when we study in higher classes. So we are going to understand ash analysis. So ash analysis basically is about inorganic elements. Okay, we try to determine the concentration, we try to determine the percentage of inorganic elements in a sample. Okay, so for this experiment, let's consider a living tissue. Okay, so since it is a living tissue, now imagine the tissue of my palm. Okay, because it is a living tissue, it will have some amount of water in it, it will have some amount of carbon, it will have some amount of hydrogen in it. So we are trying to understand what will happen, like in the process. Okay, so when we take a live tissue, so for example, we cut up a little piece of this tissue and we will first determine the wet weight. So to determine wet weight of any sample, there is a formula, okay, which is not necessary at this level, at basic level, because that formula will differ with the type of sample you are handling. For example, a fungus, mat growth of fungus, okay, on any media in microbiology will have a different formula, and a living tissue of a living healthy human will have different formula to calculate. Okay, formula to calculate the wet weight, I'm saying. So once we determine the wet weight, we are going to subject this tissue to evaporation or drying. Okay, we will get rid of all the water content in it and we will get a dry tissue. So we are going to determine the dry weight. Dry weight is nothing but all the wet constituents of the tissue are now removed, so whatever we have is completely dry tissue. We are going to burn the dry tissue. Okay, so once the tissue is burned, what remains is the ash. Okay, this ash is the remnant now. So this ash, we are using this ash, we are going to determine the ash weight. Now through further biochemical tests in the sense there are specific tests to identify the percentage of calcium, there is a specific test to identify the percentage of magnesium, okay, which we study in chemistry. So all that will be done during biochemical test. Okay, it is also done in basic chemistry also. If we take ash as sample, then we can also, I'm sorry, this is my sister just troubling me. So I forgot what I was telling. Yeah, so in chemistry also, if we consider ash as a sample, then we can do the chemical analysis, elemental analysis, and we can get the percentage of calcium, magnesium, and other inorganic elements. Okay, so this was it about ash analysis. In the next video we'll try to understand more about biochemicals, but I tried to keep this video very short because the more we try to complicate things, the more difficult it becomes to understand, and then we lose motivation to study. Okay, this is a universal rule. Okay, and if you feel that I cannot study I cannot study a full chapter at a time, one tip I would give, okay, is that you can break that lesson into small chunks. If you are a science student, of course you are a science student, in biology what happens is that there are various topics, there are subtopics, so you can study one subtopic per time, okay, at a time. And by doing so, within 3 or 4 days you will be completing a whole lesson. So that is more than enough, that is a win-win situation. And the topics which you have learned will be settled in your brain for a longer period. So that is good. And I have tried it personally, and I am currently in a good education system also using that. So this was about ash analysis, and now in the next lecture we are going to talk about biomolecules. So until then, take care, bye bye.